Hi everyone, I'm Sam from The Worry People, and this is a little breakdown of how we made our latest single, Naked. So first I want to bring you over to the intro synth. So the intro synth was originally from a song that I was working on called Slow Lover, rest in peace. It's probably not going anywhere, but I like the synth sound. So I took the synth sound, but it was in the wrong key. So a little creative way around this was just to have a longer intro where you have a tape slowdown effect. In Logic, all you need to do is just drag out your fade, right click it, you can do slow down. But because I've printed that to the track, so it's already baked in. So what I did is duplicate it so that when it starts to rise again, I've added on this stock pitch shifter. So you can see I've upped it by 5 semitones and now it's in the right key. Something else that I've done as a fan of artists like Disclosure, house, dance music, is they'll often use something called sidechain compression. So you can see here I've got this click track going, and you can see that every time there's a click, what you'll see here, if I go into this compressor, side chained out, is every time when the click hits, you'll see it ducking in volume. So it sounds a bit like this. See that? It's just another way to give something a bit of movement, a bit of life, a bit of energy. So if I scroll back up to the top, you can see this happening here as well. It starts to speed up again. The second part comes in, so it's in the right key. And now the track's in the right place. The next thing I wanted to show you was the synths. So the first one is just a standard stock 80 synth. Sounds a bit like this. So what I wanted to show you here is that the velocity of the MIDI does change gradually. So it starts to get a bit more aggressive and more aggressive. You can see that by the red. So it eventually starts to sound like this. It gives it a nice top end and a little bit of distortion, bit of saturation. And that just allows it to cut through the track. The second thing I wanted to show you was the high pluck. So all I'm doing here is an octave. I haven't snapped it to any one particular velocity. Otherwise, I think it just becomes a bit too rigid. The third thing that I wanted to show you, which nearly didn't make it into the track, was the Rhodes. So it mostly comes in, I think it's only in on the chorus here. So it sounds like this. So there's a couple of cool things about this particular track. First thing is that the tape delay actually goes at the start of the chain. It's just a stock Logic tape delay. I've really ramped up the feedback here. I've turned up the flutter intensity, and what that means is that as the repeats goes on, it starts to shift in pitch a little bit. I've set it to diffuse mode, dropped the clip threshold just so that it also gives it a bit more of a crunch, and I've taken off a lot of the highs. All of the repeats are then going into this stock distortion. So as it goes on, it just gets more and more crunchy. And again, just to offer some more movement, I'll put on this this stock tremolo. It sounds like this. And all three sound like this together. Another thing that I wanted to show you was the guitars. Of course, I'm a guitar player. Most songs that I wrote start off on guitar. And in this instance, I wanted to play around with a bit crusher, which was really the first time that I'd done something like that. Just to give it sort of more of a lo-fi quality in the verses. And it sounds a bit like this. So I think I originally wrote this in the lower key. But I think that in the overall mix, it sort of struggled to cut through. So I just recorded it again, an octave higher. Which is also a good thing, because if it was just the high version, I think it would sound pretty weak as well. So just to have that lower octave just sitting below it, it gives it a bit more fullness and a bit more body. So for the chorus, we have this. Which at first, the original version of that riff did sound a little bit too sex on fire, so I did have to change it a little bit just so I don't get in trouble. In the second verse, I do actually introduce the trusty old baritone just to give it a bit more of a lift, so it sounds like this. Here comes the baritone. Just gives you the sense that something's coming, just to bring you back to that really high energy chorus. Something that I wanted to emphasize in this track was the more mellow verses and then the more high energy choruses as well. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the rundown of some of the instrumentation of our latest single, Naked. I hope you like the track. Thank you so much. See you next time.